and that's been the kind of theme of his whole campaign, is like brown people from other countries, we should treat them differently, and they're not like us, and they have to meet a different test for them to be really American. And he's been treating the president like that for years now.
I just think it's disrespectful that they're president.
Yeah, it's very disrespectful, and it's racist to be.
It is.
Also.
It's interesting too because you're a new dad and I'm a new mom.
Mm-hmm.
We saw each other. Because he was pregnant, I had no idea, and I was like flaunting my belly to you guys. You're a new dad and I'm a new mom. I kind of look at the atmosphere and I'm scared about the future for my child. Are you seeing things in that way too?
Well, you know, I try to keep it in perspective, because even though the news makes the world look like it's in a terrible place, the world is generally more peaceful than it used to be. There's less poverty than it used to be, less hunger than it used to be. Even in America, there's less crime than it used to be. So I think we have to have some perspective about it, but the news makes you feel like everything's just chaotic.
Yeah.
And you know, there is some chaos and there is evil out there, and ISIS is an evil organization doing some terrible things, but we do have to keep in perspective that the world has actually seen a lot worse than what we're seeing right now. So there's no better time to be born, I think, than now, because the world has actually gotten better.
And you're making it better with your work, Underground, which, you know, we had some stars from your show on our show at Love.
Thank you.
And this project, which is so beautiful. I mean, I watched it last night, and it is so pure. It's a love story, but not a typical love story.
It's a love story, but it's not overly romanticized. It's two real people that we know, and they had a real first date, and it was quite a really cool first date. It involved multiple locations and a chance for them to really get to know each other, and we all know how it ended, but I think it's beautiful to see how it began.
Did you consult with them before you decided to be part of this project?
We didn't kind of clear it with them first, but they knew what was happening. Their staff knew that a film was being made. I don't know if they've seen it yet, but I've spoken with them directly, saying I was part of it and that they would love it when they saw it. So hopefully they see it soon.
I love it. You're like speed dial. Hello, President.
It wasn't speed dial, but we interact, you know, every few months at different events. And when I saw him here in LA, we did a fundraiser together. I told him about the movie, and I said, I think you're gonna like it, and hopefully he does.
What do you think when it comes to their legacy, especially with now, you know, they're wrapping up their presidency and their term, like what legacy do you think they're gonna leave behind as a couple and as a, you know, president?
Well, I think they've been a remarkable couple. They've, just on a personal level, just seeing how they've raised their daughters and how they've presented as a couple to the public, I think has been beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And then secondly, as politicians, as leaders of the country and of the free world, I think they'll leave behind a record of a lot of success. Healthcare, reviving the economy, taking the unemployment rate down, doing a lot of things to combat climate change. There's a lot of great things politically that he's done and that they've done together that have made the country and the world better. And I think that's why you feel this sense of nostalgia that everybody has for the fact that we're going to lose them as our first couple soon. No matter who wins the election, I think a lot of people are going to miss the Obamas being in the White House.
And last question, I'm going to get wrapped up, is I remember when you and Chrissy met.
Mm-hmm.
It's like way before, a long time
10 years ago.
Yes, I remember when you guys met. Do you remember your first date? Was it because their first date wasn't a typical first date.
Well, ours wasn't a typical first encounter either. We were shooting a video together all day. So we spent a long time together that day, and then she came to my show later that night. So we had already, you know, spent a certain amount of time together, and we were pretty close to each other. More close than most first dates get, because, you know, we were like, you know, grinding a little bit on camera. So we had an attraction to each other very quickly, but you know, you don't know that you're gonna fall in love with that person right away. But as we started to interact, I just knew she was special, she was funny, she was clever, and we really connected in a lot of ways.